Look out, Wiggler. Oh. Lay down. So, Labor Day, I think. Anyway, I made you a video yesterday, and excuse me, playing it back this morning. Didn't really like it. Angela was like, "My God, the back, the car is." You didn't even half hear what I was saying. So I figured I'd try and make it again today. Figured I haven't been doing a very good job of polluting myself. So I went out and bought some hot hour cigars. Smoke a little bit and then chew them the rest of the day. But as you know, I went to the celebration of life for my friend Francis Wood. It was meant to be a celebration of life, but I had a hard time keeping my shit together. As usual. These dogs. Are y'all vibrating my camera? But it's a tremendous loss, not only to the Wood family, but to the community, because I didn't realize how much he had done for the community, how long he had been involved with the radio station. He got hired, which is unheard of. He got hired when he was 17 as a radio host. And he was with WFLO for 50 years. Retired. I think I'm telling him. I think he ended up owning the radio station and sold it New Year's Eve 2021, I think. And he and his wife had big plans to travel. He got ALS. Really sad. Because he was an outdoorsman. He was a lot like me. I think that's why he and I kind of hit it off. We like to hunt and fish, and canoe and kayak and travel. And a great writer. I had sent actually his mother when his father passed away. His mother was widowed, and I would send her letters and stories periodically. I knew they would vibrate me out of the picture. Edna Wood was his mother. Now, let me just back up. So, back when Lamar and myself and Sean were all hanging out and hunting, Lamar made contact with Eugene Wood. who was Francis's father. And he gave us permission to hunt on his land, and we did. I mean, we hunted the hell out of both those places. But at some point, he came to realize I was some kind of carpenter from Richmond or whatever. And he had plans all along for their house to put on a porch addition and then a sunroom. And he got architects out there and engineers. They kept telling him it couldn't be done. Got some carpenters out there that, nah, you can't do that. And I guess just on a pure whim, he asked me one day, he showed me what he wanted done. He said, "Can you do it?" "Yeah." He said, "Everybody keeps telling me it can't be done." I said, "Well, I guess everybody's scared." But he took a chance. He knew me, but he didn't know. He didn't know what I could do or my reputation. And so he put the money on the table. I told him I would do it for hunting rights. I wasn't going to charge him any labor. You buy the material, and I'll build it. He said, okay. So he bought all the stuff, and we knocked that thing in the ass. Turned out pretty much exactly like he wanted it. He liked it. A year or two later, he liked to poke fun at the fact he talked to all these professionals and took some lanky redneck from Richmond to come out there and figure it out. But then he passed away suddenly. And I had sort of, I just like the family. I befriended Edna, and I'd write her letters, send her stories. At some point, I sent her something. She liked it. She gave it to Francis. Francis was, and is a well-respected, award-winning writer, award-winning radio broadcaster. Anyway, he got a hold of one of my stories. I think it was chitlins and caviar about Ishi. He called me up one day. He made me feel good coming from someone with his reputation. He said, this is worthy of production, printing. Made me feel good. It was good writing, good storytelling. And he would know because he's a great storyteller. Of course, I never did anything about it, as usual. But things sort of ran their course with the hunting. I know I'm not going to get into the particulars because y'all, Mom in particular, knows what happened. It was time for us to go. And eventually we did get out of there. But I tried to keep contact with him. And I did. And he'd invited me back to hunt, fish, whatever, several occasions. I was really too embarrassed to take him up on it. think I went fishing once or something. Anyway, he was a good guy. At the age now, I go to more funerals than weddings, I guess. His son, Daniel, at the reception, well, I gotta back up. So I'm at the celebration of life in the bleachers, trying not to bawl my eyes out. And there's Native American Chickahominy, I think, dancers. I thought that was kind of odd. And it turns out that this dancer 30 years ago would drive through Farmville to I can't remember exactly to a competition or something. And when he got in range, he would turn on WFLO and he would listen to Francis, his broadcast, all his music. I couldn't hear that well, but apparently the Native American gentleman, at some point, I don't know if he got lost or something, he ends up calling Francis at the radio station, to which Francis picks the phone up on the air. And they have a dialogue and directs him. This is 30 years ago. So Francis got ALS. He knows he's dying. He plans his own celebration. And he got his wife. It's not like they had a friendship for 30 years. They had a conversation 30 years ago. The way I understood it. He got his wife to locate this guy and ask him if he would come to the celebration of life and do a traditional Native American dance for him. And the guy accepted. And he brought his daughter, who was 2 years old at the time of the 30-year conversation, and his grandchildren. And they were dressed to the T's in their Native American garb. And they got up on stage. The guy was choking on tears about how honored he was. And they did. They put on a dance. I can't describe it. I mean, they did justice to their culture, and they did honor Francis because they put on a great dance. All the I don't want to call it drama, but it was good. But back to his son Daniel. I hadn't seen Daniel in many years. And I don't think he recognized me at first. My new little beard and goatee. But he was coming through the door going to the reception and saw me, and he finally clicked. And he about knocked me over. He just ran up and just bear hugged me. Holy shit. And I always liked Daniel. Daniel had, like everyone, personal, we all have issues, and we all enjoyed Daniel. We tried to help him. Anyway, long and short was, he gave me this big bear hug, right there in the foyer. And then when I went through the line again, he did the same thing. Jumped up and just that squoze the life out of me. But it was a nice celebration of life. It was sad for me. I'm sure sad for others. Chris, Francis' wife, glad I made it. I told her I was in New Hampshire and I wasn't sure I was going to make it. Anyway. But spent the day pretending I was a mechanic. I think I was semi-successful. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm watching YouTube videos and trying to figure out how to replace brakes and rotors on my truck. But I got it back together, drove it around the block. Seems to be working. I still think I have an issue with a seized up something on it. Probably should have had that done in New England when I had all those mechanics standing around. But I know I'm repeating myself to you, Mom, but I can tell the story to the other people that listen to this. I'm not going to say ignorant shit. Listen to this intelligent, informational storytelling that I put out there. Ants keep biting me. But when I'm going up there, trying to get across George Washington Bridge in New York. I mean, that coming and going, that was a shit show. I mean, bumper to bumper parking lot. And I knew I was supposed to take a right. I didn't know where it was or when it was coming up. But I think it was like 5 lanes. And there was so much bumper to bumper, you couldn't change lanes. I mean, I was trapped in the far left. And so I'm creeping through. I think the phone sends me a text. And Angela says, "You missed your turn." I'm like, oh, fuck. So I immediately jump off the first chance I can get. And I end up in some armpit shithole section of the Bronx. I mean, it was sketchy. I'm texting back, what I'm not supposed to be doing is texting and driving with Angela. I'm lost, get me the hell out of here. She's trying to locate me on this satellite thing she can find me on. I'm fucking around my phone, and I hear this engine come up beside me, and like, what the hell is that? And this kid on a go-kart, and I'm on a street, paved, not in an alley. Some kid on this go-kart, looked like he's 12 years old, flying down past me. A car coming the other way, cuts in front of me, cuts me off. I jerk it to the right, hit the curb, hit the ditch, hit this giant gaping hole of a pothole, bounce in, bottoms out, pops back up, truck's automatically just pulling out of it, knock the steering out of the line or whatever. Something else I gotta fix. It just hauls ass. Oh my God, I'm texting me, get me out of here. Where the hell at? Just find me an exit, get me back on 95. And she says, go down here and hang a left and hang a right. Which I do. When I go around the corner, every ladder I had on that truck just goes flying out in the street like dominoes. Not one or two, but 6 or 7. So I pull over, and the only place I have to pull over, not knowing at the time that it was for commuter bus parking only. So I pull in this commuter bus parking area on the side of the road. Immediately this bus runs up behind me, starts honking the horn, telling me to get the hell out of the way. And I'm like, trying to get my ladders, and people flicking me off. And just, I was getting hot. I was not a happy camper. I'm grabbing my ladders, trying to throw them up there, and somebody eventually came by and saw my license plate, saw I was from Virginia. Go back home, you stupid fucking redneck. But I did not realize at the time. I called my friend Billy Schuler, I called my friend, told him what was going on. He said, dude, you gotta get the hell out of there. And I was like, well, all right, yeah, I know, but what's the urgency or whatever? I had 4 long guns loaded to the hilt, hanging in the rack, and I had 2 handguns. And the one place you don't want to be with any kind of loaded gun is New York. New York City. I'm down there with illegally parked ladders and debris all over the highway, getting ready to pull a gun at people who were flicking me off and cussing me out. Cop could have come by, seen all my vodka bottles full of water and beer cans on the floor and guns. I could have gone to Rikers. But my wife found me on her phone. I got the ladders tied on. Apparently that bump shifted the load and snapped. Just took one rope to snap, and the rest soon followed. But I had more rope, tied it on. She found me a way to Dover. I got there in just over 11 hours. But that could have gone wrong really quickly. But I made it. Made it there. Did everything we were supposed to accomplish and more. Started feeling shitty the last couple of days. I can't make it through Labor Day weekend feeling the way I was, so I jumped in the truck and hauled ass home. Made it back. But it was fun. I wouldn't change it for the world. Matter of fact, I'm thinking about doing it again. Already talking to Bobby about possibly commuting 2 or 3 weeks at a time flying up there and driving with her. I don't want to try and start my business up again here. They pretty much told me to go away to the other job, which is kind of pissing me off because there's shit to do and they got other people doing it and I can be doing it. But we'll see. I'm going to try and get my equipment tomorrow, maybe have a discussion. But the whole family's sick. They're all in there throwing up diarrhea, and I think I'm sleeping in the treehouse tonight. I'm scared to death to get it. I was sick enough in, well, Cape Cod or Boston or wherever the hell I was. I don't want to get what they got, but I'm sure I will. Angela's got to meet the surgeon tomorrow. See about taking her gallbladder out. All in all, good times. See ya.